Okay. Hi, everybody. Oh, my cord flew up on that one. Hi, everybody. I'm going to start over. Okay.
No, I kind of want to leave that in there.
Really?
Hi, everybody.
What? No, I'm sorry. All right. Hello, everybody.
This is the epitome of awkward squad.
Yeah, no, for real.
Right there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Awkward Squad Reviews. We're still kind of new on this whole YouTube thing, so we're going to introduce ourselves again. I'm Eva.
I'm Shri.
Bex.
Yay! We got it in there!
Yay.
Yes. Her nickname is Bex now. If you want to know the story about how that came about, you can look at our How We Met video, which is in one of these corners, and it's either in this corner or this corner because, who knows? Right? But it's going to pop up somewhere. Those little white end card things that happen, whatever. What we're doing on our channel is we're going to react and review a whole bunch of movies. And our first reaction we did was to the movie Emma, and it's the 1996 version, and it's now time for the review. And if you want to see our reaction, again, look to that info card. It's gonna pop up again.
Our reaction totally wasn't like 3 months ago.
No,
totally not. No, it wasn't.
It was like literally yesterday.
So right now we're gonna do the review of the Emma 1996 movie, and starting with Gwyneth Paltrow, Jeremy Northam, who else? Ewan McGregor was
Obi
Wan.
Yeah,
Ewan McGregor. And you know what's weird?
I noticed him as Obi Wan.
No, but it's weird for me because I never watched the Star Wars movies. Nobody bash me, please. Don't kill me.
Kill her in the comments, guys.
No, don't. My brother does enough of that for me. I'm more of a Trekkie myself. Live long and prosper, everybody.
Kill her in the comments, guys.
So I have never really watched Star Wars. I don't see him as Obi Wan. Is that what he plays? Obi Wan? Yeah. But yeah, so it stars Gwyneth Paltrow, Jeremy Northam, Ewan McGregor, and then Alan Cumming, I think is his name, right? Yeah, so review. We did the reaction like 3 months ago, but we've watched the movie so many times, we could probably just do it like we've never seen it.
It's in my memory, the whole movie.
So some of these scenes are branded into my mind, and they're so good. Okay, so Shri, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so I guess initial thoughts when I first watched the movie were it paid a pretty good homage to the book. I remember reading the book in early high school and just absolutely loving it. And this took on a pretty good role of being accurate to the book and all that. And it was a comedy, which I feel like most people forget. Jane Austen books are comedies, and then in the film adaptations it'll get all serious and dark and emo. But this one wasn't like that. This one, it had fun with itself. There were lots of little bits of comedy in there. They had a lot of jokes just taken straight from the book, which was nice. And like us three, the movie and the book are both very awkward. So it capitalizes on a lot of awkward encounters, a lot of misunderstandings, misconceptions.
That's probably why we are so closely attached to it. Because I feel like we can see ourselves. Like there are so many parts where Emma just screws up royally. And we're just like, what, are you crazy? But then I can be like, oh my gosh, that's something I would do though. But I really do think that's why we identify with it so much.
I think with Emma specifically as the character, I kind of have mixed feelings about her, because one pet peeve of mine is people being patronizing. And she's that way to Harriet, I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. Harriet, through most of the movie, pretty much until like the very end.
Yeah. I think though when Shri and I looked it up, because I don't know what we were looking at, but we were looking up something about Emma, and we found something that said that Harriet Smith from Emma is one of the most hated characters in literature because she's such a pushover. Like she does not she just goes with Emma on everything. Like
Yeah.
it's weird because she's just like, oh, I'm not supposed to like him. Okay, and then so a lot of
Yeah.
people really dislike her.
Harriet is the type of person who I would like them in that I would, they're a nice person, but at the same time, they wouldn't ever be, I couldn't ever really be friends with them. Like, acquaintances, sure. But I need a friend that has opinions of their own
Yeah,
and isn't just going to take whatever my opinions are. I don't need I don't need a mirror.
yeah. I mean, there's no fun in that. Like you obviously need to have like things in common with the people that you're around, but you can't be like the same. Otherwise, there's no fun. Like I'm
You
different
can't.
than you two, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun.
I mean, I'm gonna stick up for Harriet a little bit here because I kind of identify with her, especially like younger me, especially such a Harriet. I used to be such a Harriet. My God. I mean, I think Harriet honestly is just scared because
Mm.
Emma's basically her only friend. We don't ever see her with anybody else.
Yeah.
And Emma's like her best friend too. So she just kind of goes with whatever her friends say because she wants to hold on to them and because they're her only source of like guidance. Because we don't ever see her parents, do we? Because like
No, remember
she's from a
she's
poorer family or something.
yeah, and she lives with oh my gosh, what's her name? Mrs. Gosh, it starts with an F. I can't remember her name now.
Yeah, yeah.
But
She doesn't live with her parents
Like
though. I think they died,
a
right?
well-off woman.
yeah, I
I
think
don't think you ever find out what exactly happened. They're just not in the picture.
yeah, I do know that. I do know that.
Because I remember,
But
I think Frank Churchill was saying something about that.
yeah, and then I think what they were talking about it when she was trying to set up Harriet with Elton, but she told him that Harriet refused Robert Martin's proposal, and she's like, "Why? That's a good match." He's like, "What are you talking about? Robert Martin is, beneath her and all that." He goes, "No, let's think about the facts here. She has no known parentage right now. We don't know who her parents are, what they've done. She grew up with the teacher. Oh, Miss Goddard. That's her name, Miss Goddard.
Ah,
She grew up with Mrs. Goddard and was taught by her, and that's really it. That's all they really know about her. And so we don't know if she has any station. I mean, maybe I guess she could be like a duchess or something. I don't know, but they don't know. And so a good match would be Robert Martin, and that's what Knightley was telling her. And she goes, "No, no, no. What are you talking about? She's my friend," which means she's like
Yeah.
better.
I mean, he even said that Robert Martin would be marrying down by marrying her.
Yeah, and that's a weird concept to think about because he's a farmer and everybody's kind of seeing things from Emma's perspective that he's lower class and that he would be marrying up by being with Harriet. But in reality, I think Knightley is right in the sense that he would be marrying down
Well,
because she has no.
He's definitely the more realistic of the two.
I think
That's true.
both of them
He's more
are
grounded
kind
in
of
reality.
the same social standing because even though Harriet doesn't have like any known parentage, she still kind of grew up and right now is in like high society. Whereas like Robert Martin, he's like a farmer, but he's also like a really good farmer. So I feel like they're kind of on equal footing because of that.
No, I was thinking people like that are on the edge of society, right? Like in all the books and everything that I've read, the people on the edge of the society that are barely there, barely in, but like they're like 1 foot in each spot, 1 foot in commonness and the other foot in society. People like Harriet, they're like looked down as the worst. At least the people who were not part of society, they know where their standing is. They don't have to worry about anything in society, right? I mean, obviously there are some aspects to it, like reputation and all of that. But like for the most part, he doesn't have to go through all the rules that, the nobility have to do. Nothing like that, right? Versus Harriet, she's like on the fringes of society, and she just, because of that, I think they almost view her as like a hanger on, right? And they're like, no, she's like like almost like how people can like are conniving and try to pull themselves. I think that's how most people view the people on the fringe, and I mean that's not who Harriet is, and we can tell that she's not that kind of person. But I feel like that's how people view her, which is why they view her as less than Robert Martin.
Yeah, and it's that sort of commentary on class that Jane Austen was hoping to spark and sort of write about in this book, which is another reason why I love Jane Austen novels, because she melds so many different themes into her books, and then that translates so perfectly into this adaptation too.
And her
I think you
characters are
guys could
very
agree.
real.
Yes.
Yeah.
They feel
And
like some authors have characters that don't feel real,
2D.
but yeah, but she, like, you can imagine that being a person's thought process. You can imagine a person doing all of those things, and all of her main characters have some sort of character arc, which some movies and books lack, much to their detriment.
I think also one of the things that we like about Jane Austen when she writes and her characters, they have arcs, so you can see them change, but also they change because they have like one fundamental like flaw, right? So they have like they could be the best people, but they still have a flaw. Like Emma, she was just being an airhead, right? And she was not thinking through the logistics of everything she's doing. She doesn't see the consequences of her actions, right?
I would say another flaw of hers was a superiority complex.
Yeah, that too, right? But in Elizabeth Bennet, from Pride and Prejudice, she had a huge issue. I mean, she had an issue with pride herself a little bit, but mostly prejudice, right? Darcy had his thing, viewed as pride, right? There were so many flaws, and then you can see the adjustment, which is why those arcs are so drawing and intriguing for people to look at. I think that's why we like Emma so much. They're relatable. The arc is so it's realistic, right? Like you can see somebody like Emma being such an airhead and not looking at the consequences of her actions, and then growing up to be like, you know what, you're right. That I should not have said that. And they're not even like major things. Like she goes from like a jerk into like a complete angel. Like they're not dramatic, crazy, but they're like realistic changes that happen. And like I read, not read. They made a movie about like Pride and Prejudice. It was like a movie about Pride and Prejudice. It was a whole thing. It was weird, but I liked it. It was cool. But one of the things that the main character, who was supposed to be Elizabeth Bennet, she said she loved Jane Austen because Jane Austen understood people and relationships in a way that she's never read anywhere else. And I think that's really true, because the weird thing is she's talking about love and marriage and all this and never got married. Like, how does she have all this insight? I don't know. But she really understood human nature and relationships and how people are, and really melded it really well.
Something I see a lot of people do is they think that character development has to be some huge difference. Like, you have to change your entire view on life or something like that for it to be character development. Which is why I appreciate that Jane Austen knows that that's not necessarily something that people have to end up doing. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it can be as subtle as, like, with Emma, where she just becomes more realistic and loses her sense of superiority.
Yeah.
Do
I
we
think we should
want
move on
to?
to a happier tone.
Yeah, do we want to move on to our favorite scene at the end?
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
yes. Favorite
oh.
proposal scene of all
That's
time, I
it.
think, for me.
Yeah, I think that's the best proposal I think I've seen. Yeah, ever. Yeah. Oh, I can't. I'm getting so
It shows
excited.
that Emma hasn't completely changed because she's still, like, kind of not letting people actually tell her what they're thinking and
I mean,
assume
Yeah.
instead. But
that's
I
just
can
her.
understand it. I can understand that if, she thought that Mr. Knightley was going to propose to someone else, and she just did not want to hear it.
Yeah.
And I can understand wanting to not hear that, and I can understand I don't think you should cut someone off, but I can understand the desire to do that to protect yourself from hearing something you don't want to.
Yeah. And the build up to when she figures out that she loves Knightley till the proposal. Oh man, it's such a well done just plot line. Like sometimes that's kind of where it goes down, right? But because you already know what's coming, you're like ready. You're like, yes, they're gonna fall in love, and yay, right? And then here, it's like building because like you can feel the tension building because you're not 100% sure if Knightley's gonna be like, yes, of course, right? Most movies, you're like, okay, of course, because
Okay, no, I think most people at this point know.
well, they know how he feels. Like we know as the audience, but she doesn't, and we see that she doesn't, and I think that's what I mean. She
It's a
doesn't know
little bit
that
of
he's gonna say yes.
what's it called? Is that dramatic
Dramatic
irony?
irony,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
dramatic
Okay.
irony. But when he walks away after she's like, don't tell me if it's gonna change anything, right? And like the way his face falls, I mean, that acting was on point. Because the way his like face falls, and he's like, no, no, yeah, sure, and he walks away, and then like even
More
just the
dramatic
cane,
irony.
yeah, even just the cane, like him, like hitting the grass with his cane, like that's like you can see the intensity of the emotion. You can like feel it. And you're like, no.
Because
But yeah,
this man is thinking, oh no, I guess I've been friend zoned, rip. And then
Yeah.
Emma sees him
Oh
like
yes, I'm
hitting
sure
his cane
that
on the
was the exact
grass.
thought process. Oh no, I've been friend zoned. Rip.
the friend
I'm
zone.
just imagining Mr. Knightley's voice saying that.
Victorian era man.
Yes.
I've been
Rip.
friend zoned. Rip. And his cravat and his like top hat and his cane. Yes, rip.
Rip.
F in chat. F for 90.
Yeah.
And then Emma sees the
Austin
F
was
in
way
chat.
above her time. Austin was way beyond her time. She knew that vocabulary was coming.
Oh, she knew, yes. And then Emma sees the F in chat and she's just like, oh, he's sad. Okay, I'll give him a chance to explain, even if it makes me sad. And then, it all worked out.
Yep.
He's not friend
I think
zoned
the
anymore.
ending too. I think the
He
ending
was
part
never
where she's like,
technically.
that's
Oh,
true. Well, no, he
That's
was
true.
in the
Well, he
beginning.
thought.
Before she
Yeah.
realized she
Yeah.
was
She
totally
didn't.
planning on friend zoning him.
But she like didn't know.
That's true. Man,
Hmm.
when we find out though about Knightley, like having a crush on her at that dance, and you're like, oh, so you want to dance? She's like, dance? Like, yeah, it's not improper. We're not brother and sister. Oh, brother and sister. What? And she walks away, and he's like, indeed. And I was like,
We're just like,
oh my gosh!
Indeed, we are not.
I know, and it's so dramatic, and you're like, oh my.
it's
No,
just 4
when we first
words, but
watched
they
it, I was
make
like-
an impact.
Yeah, and that's the one line in the mid, because I was like in the middle of the movie where all the women were like, oh yes, yes. That was so nice, beautiful, well done, sir. You know, like, well, I'm doing this as a fan, but as I'm doing this, I'm picturing like the Southern Belles with their fans going
Like
like
the
this,
hand fan thing.
yes. Yeah. I'm picturing them going like this, like, well done, sir. Oh, hey, there we go.
Oh,
Yes.
snap.
That was
Rebecca
done so
really out
nicely.
here. Nice.
She's been practicing that move. She's been waiting to pull that one out.
Actually, I haven't opened this up in years.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah,
flex
no.
on us.
So that's what I'm picturing. Like, they're like, yes, oh, well done, Knightley. But seriously though, like all the rom-com people are like, yes, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think that's
Mr.
why,
Knightley's great.
yeah. I think that's why the friend to love plotline is so interesting, because there's so many things that can go wrong with it, but then when it works out, it's
I'm kind of a sucker for the friends to lovers thing.
yes,
yeah, me too.
I so am. I'm totally.
So
final
I
thoughts?
I wanted to say something about 2 of the characters before we do final thoughts. 2 of the characters who are fairly important, but we haven't touched on at all yet. Jane Fairfax and Frank Churchill. I don't really have many feelings about Jane Fairfax. She's just kind of there for most of it. I don't like Frank Churchill. I just, regardless of the fact that he's trying to keep his relationship with Jane a secret, that doesn't give him, like, he's lucky that Emma didn't develop feelings for him. But he full on seemed like he was flirting with her, and he would have been leading her on.
Yeah, I think that's where I think, like, doesn't she tell Mrs. Weston, you know, she's like, oh, and you know, we were hoping there would be a match. Like, no, I didn't have any feelings, you know. And then she goes like, but he's, you know, he profited from your chance. She's like, well, I thought you said that you didn't have feelings. Yeah, but should I, like, that, you know,
I could have,
right? That was basically what she's saying. She's like, of course, dear. And she's saying, it's like, yeah, it's true enough.
Yeah. That really bothers me.
I mean, he was just
that he was okay with playing with her feelings.
He was just doing it because he could, and he liked that power, and I just did not like the whole vibe. I mean, Ewan McGregor played that part beautifully, though.
As much as it's more, I don't think it's power cover. As much as, it was cover, and he was playing his part to the T.
I think even using it as a cover is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
just
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I do agree with you about Jane Fairfax, though, because she was just like, she was honestly kind of like a nothing character. She was that character who was there to make Emma jealous, though. That was her literal only purpose, because with her writing and her letters. I can't tell
you much about her.
Yeah, no one can. She could be a lovely person.
Bates
we don't know.
Miss Bates can.
Yes.
But she's a nothing character.
Yeah.
Watch someone be saying, "I'm offended. Jane Fairfax is my favorite character in all of
she's the best character ever."
And if you do feel that way, be sure to write like a detailed essay in the comments explaining why you think so, because
I would really want to know.
we so want to understand.
We actually want to understand.
Yeah. So this is the final section. Rebecca, why don't you start the final thoughts section? Because she started the other stuff, and I talked a lot. So
I think it's really good. I definitely think it's not for everyone, because, you know, some people don't like the romance genre.
Yeah.
And
Or the period kind of films.
Yeah, or period
Yeah.
pieces. So obviously, if you're not going to like any Jane Austen adaptations there, but
Well, that's not true, because the modern versions some people will be into. If it's
true.
some of them.
Right,
But if you
yeah.
want exactly kind of like the book come to life, then no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean,
but
there's
overall,
like the version of Emma that's like in the 90s, right? The Clueless one? Clueless?
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
I was
so that's-
thinking Prada Tonata.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
an
that one
interesting
too.
one.
overall, I really enjoyed the movie. There are certain parts that I can't watch, like the picnic scene as well for me, and Mr.
carriage.
Elton in general.
The first half hour was very
Yeah.
difficult for Rebecca.
Yeah, and other than that, I think I mostly covered my thoughts. I like it overall.
She?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone when I say I love this movie as well. I think it's one of my favorite rom-coms for sure. I am probably top 5. And I mean, when Eva first showed it to me a year ago, I remember I did not think much of it. I was just like, okay, this is just going to be another movie. And I was wrong. It was great. And to this day, I kind of treat it as like sort of something nostalgic, something warm to watch. You know, when you want something to sort of comfort you. You got your nice mug of hot chocolate, you got your nice soup. You sit down and you watch Emma 1996. You know, like it's just one of those classics that just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy at the end, and there's a happy ending, and you know, everyone gets to be happy.
I mean,
Except the Eltons. But
for
you know.
for us, it might be partially our association, because at this point, I associate the movie with
us.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But also, no, but she's right though, because people
I do think
like
it's a feel-good
us.
movie.
Yeah, it really is. I think people like us will really enjoy the film. You know, snuggle up. You know, I don't know. Have you guys seen the Flash musical episode?
Yes.
I've seen bits and pieces.
So basically, the lead up to that was that one of the things they said is that, you know, they go to musicals when they feel sad, and you know, they want to pick me up. And I feel like this is a good movie for when you're happy and you just want something to make you even more happy. It's also a good movie when you're sad and you just want to feel like, you know, because it is to have a happy ending. And there is that, you know, that picnic scene. But in the span of things, it's gonna make you laugh more than it makes you sad, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's like life, you know. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because
Oh, we're doing ratings
But I think
here.
no, we don't have to, but
Okay.
So no, for me, I'm kind of going like I said, I'm going mostly what you guys have said. You know, it's like a feel good movie, makes me happy. The proposal is top notch, right? It's really good, and you know, for me, I like watching people get happy, you know, and fall in love and be happy, and so that's one of the pluses of Emma. And you know, on the technical side, like I said, it's really just well made. So, you know, you're not going to be like there's some movies that would be good movies had they just done the technical part right. You know, like plot was good. The plot could have been better. The casting was nice maybe, but it's just like Emma's not one of those movies. And I would suggest you guys find it anywhere you can.
Yeah.
And watch it.
Because
So what we're
have
saying is
HBO on
watch it.
Amazon. Yes.
It's a
on
good
HBO,
movie.
HBO Max. It's on iTunes. A bunch of stuff. Just find it, guys.
Yeah. It's worth putting in the effort to find it. Like, it really is. You know, but well, again, if you're like us, if you're not into like romance or Jane Austen
If you're
kind of
not
style,
into those like
I don't know why you're
rom-coms,
watching this video.
that's true. We're, you know, if you haven't read our about page, it's kind of our thing. But yeah, so if you're into that, yeah, it's worth putting in the effort to find and watch. Alrighty. So yeah, that is our review of the movie Emma 1996 with Gwyneth Paltrow and Jeremy Northam, Alan Cumming, and Ewan McGregor. I'm trying to get it so that people don't get confused with any other Emmas that could have possibly existed in that time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I figure if I give like some of the cast names, you can just look up Emma, and if you don't remember the year, at least you can remember one of the names.
Yeah.
Yeah, so starring them, and really well done. And if you want to see our reaction, it's somewhere, right?
We don't know.
Somewhere, yes. And we watch the movie and we show our reaction to it, and it's not the fact that we've seen the movie before does not hinder our reactions.
Oh
So,
no.
Oh yeah,
we're very open. I'm sure if you guys have already seen it, you guys already know that we are very open with how our emotions are like, no, what are you doing? Ah, right, like all that kind of stuff. Even if we have seen it before.
I think you can, if you watch one of our reactions, you can tell if we've seen it or not. But we still have pretty fun reactions.
Yeah.
Was the reaction the one that I hid under my desk?
You did.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I remember
you took off your headphones and hid under your desk. If you want to see that, go to the reaction. If you have, I guess, suggestions, if you look at our About page, you kind of know what kind of movies we like. We're not horror people, so please don't suggest movies that are like The Nun, which is the only horror movie I can think. Yeah, no, I'm really sensitive to jump scares. Like, I will jump and scream. My brother, if I'm like washing the dishes or something at night and I have like my headphones in, I'm not paying attention to anything around me. So my brother, to avoid me screaming in the middle of the night, will stand behind me, like 5 feet behind me, and just stand there waving until I'm like, I feel there's a presence behind me, and I look, and I may start a little bit, but I don't like scream. So in the comments, please do not suggest horror movies. Just a personal request. And I feel like people are just going to suggest horror movies just because I said that. But we will disregard it because
what PG-13 max.
Yes.
We'd love for everyone in the comments to put their own thoughts on the movie.
Yeah. Tell us what your favorite parts were, what you hated.
Tell us what you think about our take on it.
If you disagree, if you thought Jane Fairfax was the best character,
you write that 5-page essay in the comments. Try not to have a lot of vulgarity. I feel like that covers most of the things that I don't want. I don't want to see. We want kids to be able to, watch it and get involved in like literature and stuff. I think that's part of our, part of what we want to do. We want to show people that movies and books are not boring. I know a lot of people that I went to school with hated reading, and that is terribly sad for me because reading is like my life. I will stay up till 5 a.m. reading a book.
Yeah, I think that covers all of us here.
Yeah, so I think that's it.
Thanks for checking us out and for staying long enough that you got to this random, rambly ending.
Very true. Very true. This is where you're getting the essence of the Awkward Squad.
Exactly. So we are being peak awkward right now.
Peak awkward. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification because we want more people to see us. Yay.
And like this video if you liked it.
And like this video, and then like we said, comment, tell us if Jane Fairfax is your favorite character.
We hope to see you on our channel again.
Yes. And check out that info card where all of our other videos, our How We Met video is going to be there, and our reaction to the Emma 1996, so you can kind of get a sneak peek of what the movie looks like too.
And join the Awkward Squad.
Join our Awkward Squad. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.